Do you still do cardio a lot right now?
Yeah, I still do cardio.
Ease up on the cardio.
Ease up on the cardio. Why do I look thin?
It's a good day for a good day. Sending big love in a big way, yes.
4-time Emmy-nominated host, actress, stand-up, wine tour guide extraordinaire, and complete conspiracy theorist maniac, Rachel Reenstra's on the pod.
Why are there things behind you? You don't listen to that music.
That's not music. Those are called books, okay? You don't put the book to your ear, Rachel. You read it. You read a book.
Tell me, don't look behind you and tell me name of one of those books. Just one of them.
We're going to start with the conspiracy stuff. A lot of people share your opinion about it. Not me.
But Greg, there are certain things that you can agree with. For
Yes.
example, when I was on the Mandela Mondays podcast, we were talking about all the effects and all the things that are changing in our
Fun stuff. It was crazy stuff.
And you agreed that you remember Sally Fields saying, "You like me, you really like me."
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, there's a few of those I remembered. Actually, a lot of those I remembered.
So
Yeah,
now,
dude.
again, if you go to YouTube and you watch her speech, "You like me, you really like me," when she won the award, and she was like, "You like me, you really like me," and then she made fun of herself saying it, and it was in all these movies, and even Jim Carrey
Jim
was
Carrey, yeah.
a little spiff about it. Well, now, if you go back, it will still say on the side, "You like me, you really like me," which to me means it would be
Something that was said before. But right now, at this moment, you like me. She said something like that. You
so
like me.
now it is, "You like me right now, you like me." Now that would never have been made fun of if she did that back then. She even went on David Letterman and spoofed herself and
Yeah, no, I remember that stuff.
with the original thing that she said.
Yeah.
So you have to look at yourself, "Okay, Rachel, why did they do that? Is it concern turn the particle accelerator on and they're changing reality?" I don't know. But yes, her brother actually is one of the head physicists at CERN, which I find fascinating.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, no, that stuff you got me with. You got me
Mirror,
with
mirror on the wall.
mirror. Yeah, but it's called, it was a magic mirror on the wall. Is what they said. They said. Yeah. I'm on board with this stuff.
Dude,
This
Monopoly
stuff.
Man had a monocle, and you know he did.
Instead, tell me, how are we living in the Matrix?
That's not a yes or no question, but yes, if you're living in a matrix in a simulation, then things can actually, well, they can be changed or not changed, but they are fluid. All right. There's particle, there's wave through your observation with the double split experiment. I don't know if you know what that is. Not double shit experiment, double split experiment.
Oh, the split.
All right. Well, anyway, through observation, we can actually collapse a wave or collapse a particle into a wave. Now, what I really believe is happening ultimately right now, and I'm talking about with the war, with your own personal life, with everything around us. When you go to a movie, which we are in a movie, right? But when you go to a movie and you laugh at it, and we laugh at it, or we cry or whatever, we get emotionally involved in that script, right? The script is written so that a bunch of people get involved in believing that it's real, even if it's for 3 hours. Then you leave the movie and Arnold Schwarzenegger was really, when he said, "I'll be back," we wished it was a lie, but not everything is true that we see in the movie, right? Are you following me here though?
Yeah, he came back. I remember. Yes.
Okay. But what I'm saying is the powers that be need your emotional luge to then manifest things into reality. So that's why we have, answer me this. Why does Simpsons predict so many things that end up happening?
Was it one of the writers went in the future and then came back? I don't know.
Well, I mean that is
That's the most logical answer.
Well, why do you really think? Like, I want to know, why does Greg think?
I think people just can say anything. Somebody could say, like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, Donald Trump's gonna be president one day. Was that?
I agree with you there, right? Because there are quinky dinks, but they actually had him going down the escalator with Iyanla. Oh, that's her name, right? Iyanla.
Yeah, whatever her name is. Yeah.
Yeah. Going down the escalator, and if you put the picture of him doing it in reality, and then when they filmed it, and it was identical. So there's certain predictions that people can make, and then okay, that's crazy, but something like that over and over again, and Prince's death, and they had so many different. Now they call that predictive programming. Do you know what that is?
No, tell me what predictive programming is.
Do you really not know, Greg? Or are you saying that?
No, I don't know. What's predictive programming?
What do you think predictive programming is?
I don't know. Tell me.
There was a little thing called Pandemic, and then all of a sudden there's a movie on Netflix called Pandemic. Okay. There's many things that don't just happen because they thought maybe in the future there will be a pandemic. No, there's too many things that predictive programming is getting you ready for what they know is going to happen. Therefore, subconsciously, just like this thing right here, they've been doing this for years to us, even through subconscious programming in a commercial. If you slow down the commercial frames back in the day when they used to play these commercials before movies, if you slowed it down frame by frame, it would say, I want a Coke, or go get a Coke, go get more popcorn. And you would. That's called your subconscious. Your subconscious runs everything. Now, this is a way to subconsciously program you to not comply, even though you're looking at a girl with angel wings and wine and you're not thinking about it. But
I must have D'Vine Detour. I must.
no, it says don't comply on the wine. So hopefully that's subconsciously telling you next time that you go in for your 18th booster, which, by the way, have you seen Jimmy Dore? He's totally switched. He used to yell at people for not masking up and not getting the jab. And now he's going on tour with, his tour is called COVID Lies Are Funny, because he got vaccine injured. And he uncovered the shit that I've been telling him for a long time.
Oh, really? Oh, well, I had 3 jabs and I feel great. But yeah, I remember you did something. Didn't you go to a emergency room outside one time and people were like, no one was out there, and you were saying that there was like a madhouse, some of that?
Well, many people did that. That's when they said that, because basically they can control you more with fear. Fear is going to make you go and do what they say. It's going to comply. We're getting into the point where they can't even call it a vaccine anymore because they changed the definition of vaccine. They changed the definition of vaccine.
Really?
Technology. Now, let's just say I have a dog, which
You always have a dog. So you always save dogs somewhere. You're always rescuing a dog.
I take the dog in to get a vaccination,
Okay.
which he needs to have, a rabies vaccination.
Okay.
Then the next day he got rabies. Would you go, I know what I'll do, I'll get another one of those? It doesn't work. Oh, but I help him from not dying if he gets rabies.
But you got vaccination when you were younger, chicken pox stuff.
And I have
or
no
not chicken
problem.
pox.
I have no problem with those, because those were actually, I do. Now that I look into it, the shit that they put into our body. Look, when I was born, we won't have to give away the year, long ago, before they invented the wholesome carriage. No, when I had a vaccine, well, I traveled the world, at the age of 6, I was in Ethiopia. And then I took a bunch of vaccines when I had my series on Animal Planet. But when they changed the definition of what a vaccine is, and then they silence anyone that talks about it, including the guy that invented the mRNA, who's Carrie Mullis, who's passed away, and many other doctors. And they silenced me, took down my YouTube channel just for being interviewed about, what do you think is going on, Rachel? And I said, I don't know. I think something's not checking out. They're silencing people. When has anyone ever been silenced for getting an HPV vaccine, which I'm sure you've had many, but I mean, just in general.
I think I'm immune.
If you have it more than 6 times, they say. But anyway, the point is, it's gotten where most of the things that the people that I've been talking about who've come together throughout this turn out to be true. We kept very consistent the whole time, whereas they kept changing their story. Wear a mask, don't wear a mask.
Well, they were also trying to figure things out, I think. I think that because we haven't had one since 1918.
Mandating an experiment on humanity. And now for the booster shot, they tested it on 3 mice.
Were they blind? Were these 3 mice blind?
After they took it. And seen.
And
I don't like talking about this shit because it gets me all riled up, and just the stupidity with humanity. I want to ask you something. You're happy-go-lucky. You're always, I'm gonna say, the life of the party. Am I accurate with that?
yeah, you're accurate. Keep going.
I do feel that there's a certain secret to what you and I both have, but mostly you. And that is, you're absolutely blind to what anyone thinks of you. And blind in the sense that you don't give a shit. Therefore, I remember when my ex just absolutely hated you, and you didn't even, it didn't even register. And what's great about that is that you are actually living, again, back to are we living in a simulation? You're living in your own universe. And what's beautiful is that our beliefs and our thoughts create our reality. And you don't have either.
Yeah, I don't have any thoughts.
No. No, it is actually a compliment. What I'm saying is you always, no matter what, I know I'm going to laugh with you. No matter what,
That's
I
true.
know you're going to lift my energy up. And I think that just that in general, I'm not a scientist. I haven't proven this. And this is one of my conspiracies is that I do feel like you're very, very unique, and people like you who are always looking the bright side of stuff. And you're just a really positive person, and not fake positive. You always look at the humor. And I think that might be the bypass to get through almost everything in life.
I agree. I was just telling somebody the other day that you can choose to be happy. Things are going to happen around you. Things are always going to happen. Bad things are going to happen around you, to your family, to you, to your health, to your job, to your relationships. And, you're going to be unhappy. You're going to suffer, but you have to realize that you're going to have to pull out of it. Life's going to go on, and you can choose to be depressed your whole life, miserable, or you can choose to be happy and say, you know what, this happened. I'm sad. I went through it all, but now I'm back to me, and I'm going to be like this as long as I can.
Depressed moment in your life.
The most depressed moment?
The saddest moment where you're just like, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. Like,
I can't even remember it.
Before we start talking it.
That's true. Well, I would tell you the saddest moment that was probably in your family's life during the pandemic was when you guys had, I think, Sundays. You guys would all have like a I don't know, like a 4 o'clock from 4 to 5. You guys would all get on a big Zoom, and you guys would all talk, and you guys would talk about, I guess, politics or the COVID stuff, and it would drive your family crazy because you're the only one telling them not to do whatever. And so I always thought at 4 o'clock, 3/4 of the family dreaded, family time, but they all look forward to 5 o'clock.
It's funny because that is very accurate. And most of us have been absolutely shamed, humiliated, and all this shit. But now all this stuff comes out about the myocarditis, the people dropping dead, the sudden death. All of a sudden, sudden adult death syndrome is a thing right after the, what was rolled out. Not saying I'm 100% right. I think that it's now leaning towards way more people being way more suspect about putting something in our body where they don't even talk about vitamin C, vitamin D, or natural immunity. But you did skirt around. I was asking you what got you through, because I think that right now in life, people need to hear from people like you. And,
well, I'll tell you,
and all this shit is funny and great and funny clips. But if there's no authenticity or there's no sustenance behind it, that's why I want to ask someone like you, who's very rare, unique person that I've known for 28 years?
Yeah, sadly, since you used to babysit me when I was 3 years old.
And we both went through the death of your best friend and my best friend.
And your best friend. And and then other people. Yeah.
And so how do you get through things like that? Because you seem always,
well, you have to mourn.
I've only seen you cry once.
You have to really mourn. You can't just brush it aside. I mean, when you realize that something can't be changed, death is the ultimate thing you cannot change. If it happens, it happens. You know what I'm saying? And at that moment, that person ceased to exist. It's heartbreaking. It's tear jerking. However, you have to mourn. I still think of my buddy. It's amazing how many, every month or two, I have a dream still, about that stuff. But, it's sad, but you have to keep going. Just like when I die, everyone else is going to have to keep going that loved me. When you die, I'll have to keep going because I'm going to go after you.
You keep getting boosted.
But if you go before me, please, mourn, but then move on.
Do you still do cardio a lot right now?
Yeah, I still do cardio.
Ease up on the cardio.
Ease up on the cardio. Why, do I look thin?
No, you look amazing.
Thank you.
I'm just saying you don't need to do so much cardio.
Oh, I don't do that much cardio. I do 15 minutes. Okay, pick it up then. No, I do the high intensity interval training where I'll do a minute slow, 30 seconds fast, minute slow, 30 seconds fast for 15 to 20 minutes. I do that 4 days a week.
Don't get boosted. That. Where was the vaccine passport? LA went crazy and everyone's masking up and you can't get in. I couldn't even celebrate my birthday anywhere when I visited because I was like, really? We must see your papers before you come in.
Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah. So, but you're not going to do it anymore, right? I mean, you're done.
I'm done for now. I'm not getting one this year unless a strain comes out that's so bad. Like the first strain that came out.
Look at it. Again, predictive programming, they're telling you what's going to happen. So if you have enough people to.
They're already saying, because listen, this is going to be with us for the rest of our life. This is going to be with us for the rest of our life. You know what I'm saying? It's gotten a lot less severe, you know, through its transmutations and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, I did get, you know, immune initially when I took the stuff. However, now it's not as serious as it was in the beginning. It was very serious. People were dying.
There's another one that comes out. Are you going to rush to get that?
No, I'm not rushing to get the new vaccine right now because I feel that I could, my body can take it.
And you'd want them to test it on maybe 11 mice instead of 10. I'd say have them tested on a whole colony.
If they came out with a strain next month and it was really severe, I would get one right away. Absolutely.
But are you depending on CNN and mainstream media sponsored by Pfizer? That's like trusting a car salesman and going, don't do your research. Trust the guy that's selling it to you. Greg, you know that my show was scripted on the, you know, SeaWorld owned my show.
Yes.
And it was scripted and I couldn't go off script. Why? Because SeaWorld owned it and told me what to say. It's the same thing with the news.
We had a lot of great memories with acting classes in both Chicago and LA. And
you went to my wedding. And I think because there's only 1 minute left, I wanted to wait till 1 minute. Tell everybody how much food you ate at my wedding.
There was no food at the wedding. I had radishes, which I never ate before, celery, and I dipped it in
chocolate. Ran out of food.
There was no food at the wedding, just alcohol. But she was in a beautiful horse-drawn carriage before they brought her into the.
You know what? That guy,
good-looking guy. Rachel Reenstra, everybody, thank you so much for being on the pod, LINZanity. Now go get drunk.
I'm gonna keep on being nominated here. Oh, in Sedona, Arizona. It doesn't matter. We've all realized the bullshit in Hollywood. So no one really cares about the 4-time Emmy nominee for the wildlife.
How many times did you win?
Yeah, you know, I feel like the bridesmaid of everything because it's like
you're the Susan Lucci of
really right of everything
of animal docs.
Right. It was one thing about the wildlife show I had on ABC for 5 years in my own series on Animal Planet.
Put your mug up so you can do a thing for it. D'Vine. Oh, D apostrophe. How do you put an apostrophe online?
You don't, right?
You don't put the apostrophe. So D'Vine Detours.
No.
.com.
Don't put an I or it's just gonna.
Don't put the I. Don't put an apostrophe. If you want wine, you want to go on one of the best wine tours in the USA. Because listen, USA Today said that this was one of the best in the USA Today.
Like that's a reliable source.
Sedona, Arizona, where she lives. Go check it out. D'Vine Detours.